1 Timothy chapter 3. Qualifications for overseers and deacons. 1 Timothy chapter 3 continues Paul's letter to Timothy, providing instructions for appointing overseers and deacons in the church. Paul outlines the qualifications and responsibilities of these leaders and emphasizes the importance of their character, relationships, and conduct. Exegesis by sections and verses. Verses 1 to 7. Qualifications for overseers. Paul sets forth the qualifications for overseers, highlighting the importance of leadership in the church. He says that an overseer then must be blameless, and the husband of one wife. Paul says that an overseer must be temperate, sober-minded, of good behavior, hospitable, and able to teach. He goes on to say that an overseer must not be given to wine, not violent, not greedy for money, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not covetous. Paul also says that an overseer must rule his own house well, having his children in submission with all reverence. He emphasizes that if a man does not know how to rule his own house, how will he manage the church of God? Paul says that an overseer must not be a novice, which means a new believer, lest being puffed up with pride he falls into the same condemnation as the devil. Moreover, he must have a good reputation among those who are non-believers outside of the church, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Verses 8 to 13. Qualifications for deacons. Paul outlines the qualifications for deacons, who serve in practical ways in the church. He emphasizes that deacons must be reverent, not double-tongued, not given to much wine, not greedy for money. They must hold the mystery of the faith with a pure conscience. Deacons must first be tested. Then after being tested let them serve as deacons, being found blameless. Deacons' wives must likewise be reverent, not slanderers, temperate, faithful in all things. They must be the husband of one wife, ruling their children and their own house well. Paul says that those who have served well as deacons obtain for themselves a good standing and great boldness in their faith in Christ Jesus. Verses 14 to 16. Paul's purpose and believers' conduct in the church. Paul explains his purpose for writing these instructions, stating that he wants Timothy, as well as the believers, to know how to conduct themselves in God's household, which is the church. Paul highlights that the mystery of godliness is great, mentioning that Jesus was revealed in the flesh, justified by the Spirit, and proclaimed among the nations. Overall summary. In 1 Timothy chapter 3, Paul provides guidelines for appointing overseers and deacons in the church. He lists the qualifications and responsibilities of these leaders, emphasizing the importance of their character, relationships, and conduct. Paul sets forth the qualities necessary for overseers and deacons, highlighting their role in serving and leading the church. He concludes by expressing his desire for Timothy and the believers to know how to conduct themselves in God's household, which is the church. The chapter closes by Paul highlighting that the mystery of godliness is great, mentioning that Jesus was revealed in the flesh, justified by the Spirit, and proclaimed among the nations.